It is SNL playoff coverage presented by TDECU, your credit union, my credit union, CJ Stroud's credit union. And when you get that TDECU debit card, you get 15% off Texans gear. Cody has it. You should have it as well. Membership required, insured by NCUA. Shout out to the greatness that is TDECU for riding along with us on this playoff journey. Cody, I don't know if you've heard this, but the Texans, for the first time, are not going to be playing on a Saturday. The Texans, for the first time, are going to be starting the playoffs on the road. And the Texans, for I think the first time, are a very, very, very highly thought of favorite heading into their first game. I'm going to ask you this with our playoff coverage presented by TDCU. How does that make you feel? How does this vibe make you feel, this change with the
I love it.
Playoffs?
I love it. It's fantastic to not have that wild card spot and I have that early spot where, you know, it sort of just sets the tone for your entire weekend based on what happens. And it's been usually a good thing for the Texans because of the success they've had in that first game. But it gives you a chance to just kind of see the lay of the land, how the playoffs go. And then it all builds up to your game. And your game is the finale of the weekend. It's Monday Night Football. Troy and Joe, it's a fantastic broadcast team. No more Rich Eisens and Kurt Warner bull crap when you're in a standalone spot. No, just you. The entire football world's watching. It's fantastic. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I thought that the overall vibe would be different heading into the playoffs, but I actually like this vibe. I like this. I know that D'Amico would probably still like to be the underdog. And he would probably still like to be able to say it's us against the world, but it's different. I think there have been times the previous 2 years where maybe the Texans, you didn't expect them to be in this position and you didn't expect it, but this is what was expected. This is what they expected. This is why they made the offseason decisions that they have decided to that they decided to make. And this is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to say that the Texans are no longer underdogs. Matter of fact, it's a result of what D'Amico Ryans has done, what they've been able to do in his first 2 years. So there's no shame in that.
I mean, they would have it would be a good number from a Vegas standpoint, almost regardless of who the opponent is. Like, none of these first round matchups that they would play would be huge favorites if they were a favorite against the Texans. So they did a really good job creating a team that you could feel good about. And certainly in this matchup, you feel great about it. This is the team that, you know, if we were hand picking exactly the team, regardless of where it was and so on and so forth, this is the team you wanted to get a shot at.
Yeah. And it's really, it's about more with this team than the quarterback. Fortunately for them, the defense is what a lot of people are talking about, the defense and what can the defense do, and can the defense carry them? And I talk about the superpower. But I do find the state of the quarterback a little bit interesting when it comes to CJ Stroud and how exactly we look at CJ Stroud at this point. I saw before the chat there was a over under. I think it was at 13 with me saying flip the switch. I don't know if I'll get to 13, but I will keep saying flip the switch because that's what CJ Stroud is going to have to do, and that's what Nick Caley is going to have to do. They're going to have to be better in the postseason than they were in the regular season. So when I say flip the switch, it's just another way of saying be better than you were in the regular season, which is what they will have to do. They still don't have to be great, I don't think, based on the matchup, but they are going to have to be better, and this is going to be the test. And this is kind of what I talked about yesterday, and I think this is the one thing that we said a month ago that is going to play out in Pittsburgh. They're finally going to be tested, and we're going to see if they have improved from the manner in which this offense functioned in loud-ass, cold-ass Kansas City. Because after that game, I said, we will not know if this is improved until the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You had 3 home games against opponents that people weren't really excited about, and you went to the worst home field advantage maybe in all of sports in Los Angeles. And that was a big problem against Kansas City. It damn near cost them a game had Andy Reid not bailed them out. So that test, I guess you can say they had a month to study for it, but this is going to be where we see that test. They've won games since, but you cannot duplicate that atmosphere and the problems that they had in Kansas City against the Chiefs, but it will be perhaps even louder and perhaps even colder in Pittsburgh on Monday. So that test that we talked about, that frustration that a lot of people felt, even in victory in Kansas City, this is going to be the first time that we get to see how the offensive line, how the offensive coordinator, how the quarterback, how the offense as a whole functions in that atmosphere.
Take the team out of it, just the environment they're playing in. To me, this is the second toughest environment or the third toughest environment that they're going to go to. This is a longtime franchise that always shows up, no matter if it's wins or losses. The place is always filled. You got the 60,000 terrible towels. They don't sell their tickets, so you don't have a huge opposing fan base presence really ever when you play the Steelers. Like, to me, it's as tough probably as Seattle, and probably right below what Kansas City has been able to bring to the table as far as going on the road and playing a tough team. Now, obviously, the team is a little bit less impressive than that Seahawks team they played, as well as that Kansas City team that, I think highly of that KC team because of Mahomes. He's much better at it than Rodgers. And you think about some of the hiccups that they have had on offense, getting the play in, getting the call correct, executing the call once they get it there. CJ Stroud himself here, I think it was after Kansas City, he'd mentioned, hey, we have missed big plays because the play call was wrong and somebody didn't get the correct information. And now you're going to take that and test that on the road against the Steelers. Tough defense. They turn over people just as well as the Texans turn over people, and a really tough environment. So, yeah, it's a huge challenge for the guy that talks into the headset, the guy that hears it in his head, and the guy that's got to spit it out there for the players to make sure they know the play.
It's gonna be a test. It's gonna be a hell of a test. The reality is that you can maybe not be overly sharp and be able to win that game. Who knows? But the Texans are now a 3.5-point favorite. It's going up.
Yeah, the thing about the quarterback and Stroud and Caley, like, as much as it's about where can they take it and can they be better, and I'm sure you would agree with me when I say this, better also is just be more consistent. So that's a part of being better. Like the long lulls and just the roller coaster that they can go on in a game, the Chargers being a perfect example. You start hot and you get basically nothing out of the offense for a good portion of that game after that hot start. As much as it's about, hey, how good can they be? It's also about avoiding how bad they have been at different times this year too.
D'Amico Ryans, how you feeling about the Steelers?
We're excited for the matchup versus the Steelers. Really great team. Nothing but a ton of respect. All right, for Coach Tomlin and the success that he's had in the league, how he's done it for such a long time. He's a guy who definitely I've always looked up to, always respected him, always has his teams ready to go, well coached, physical outfit. Like, they're going to play tough. And it was really cool to see how they won that game last night. Just pure will, determination, found a way to win. Had things go their way. Aaron's done a good job there at the quarterback position. The defense has always played tough. So we're excited about the opportunity.
I wouldn't say it was pure will and determination. I would say it was a little bit of luck there, Coach.
Hold on. The Steelers have the pure will and determination to make people miss field goals. Kaimi, watch out.
Well,
they're going to influence you.
In case you didn't know, and you heard him mention Aaron, this is an alpha Aaron off. This is Aaron Rodgers versus Aaron Wilson. This is the true alpha off. But there was some holy water that was sprinkled before that field goal, if you didn't know. I don't know if D'Amico knew or not, but the alpha.
Hey, bro. Alpha Aaron here.
Did ask.
Did you see the priest with the holy water with the very end zone?
What's the question?
Did you notice that?
What's the question?
Make a follow up to Kim's question a little bit when you talk about turn the page, getting ready for the energy, you guys.
Randy McElvoy jumping in, saving his guy.
Randy was like, "All right, you're embarrassing KPRC. Let me jump.
Hey, Aaron, you're ruining our reputation, man. Let me jump in here and save your ass. You dumbass.
Hey, bro. Alpha Aaron here.
You might be the alpha, but I'm going to omega this shit real quick.
Swarm.
Did you hear about the holy? I don't know. You were sitting behind me. I don't know if you saw this. I don't love every question that gets asked. Okay. I don't think that should be a surprise to anybody. I try to keep a poker face on for most of it. There are some people that will laugh at other people's question, even when I think it's a pretty decent question. There are some people that'll make like loud scoffing noises. I try to keep a poker face. But when Aaron started to ask about that, I looked like a dog that had seen a squirrel. I went like this. What are you doing? It's like, where are you going with this?
Malik says Huzzy will be back. What Landry thought ex-Texan player Kayvon would be. He's talented, and his Reed coming back. They can't just keep Bryant as safety number one. I believe that this Kayvon Wallace, and we got to pour one out for our boy. I think he still ends up on this roster, perhaps at camp next year. I think there's a chance at that. Not a good performance by him the other day. Pour one out for him. Good dude, easy to root for. I think they will keep his phone number, but I think this is symbolic that we will see Reed at practice on Thursday, maybe.
Yeah. So for anybody wondering, they waived Kayvon Wallace and activated Darrell Taylor from the injured reserve. They still have another activation from the injured reserve. The only player that's, I would assume, close to getting activated from injured reserve is Jalen Reed. That could be who they turn to at safety with a variety of different players to fill in behind him. And Malik, let's cool it on the Elijah Huzzy love, okay? I get that he had a nice performance, but we can cool the Jets on that for right now. And maybe I'll eat my words and be wrong about that, but that was a late in the game play. Like, let's just cool it a little bit.
All right, Rich Boy Jay saying it out loud.
Swarm.
He says everything has gone downhill for Wallace since the SNL interview.
Well, that's just circumstantial. There's no cause and effect to that. Okay, it just happened to occur around when he had a bad game. There's no cause and effect to that.
There have been guys who've had good games after they interview with us, and quite frankly, I think the fact that they didn't give us Trent Brown and he got hurt when we were supposed to get him, I think that kind of killed our mojo, along with
it flipped the momentum of the interviews.
Along with don't run, Cody Duck and Pop. I think Cody Duck and Pop is kind of this is Cody's music. He runs when he hears this. As soon as he hears this, watch him. He's like a felon on warrants whenever you hear the police sirens. Ready?
Hey, you can talk all the shit you want. How many games have they lost since I started ducking him?
Okay.
Answer the question. How many games have they lost since I started ducking him?
Get off my TV screen. Colston says, afternoon, Cody and Landry and friends. We met Colston at Spanky. Shout out to everyone at Spanky's. This Friday is going to be crowded.
That's like
John will be there. We'll be there this Friday, the 9th. We'll get there, practice a little bit later, but we'll get there. We'll still be live at 4, and we hope to see you there as well. Should be a crowded one. But don't blame us for Kayvon Wallace. My goodness. Shout out to Ray, my friend. Thank you very much.
Wow. Very generous, Ray. Thank you.
Big Ray. He says it was great meeting both of y'all at the tailgate before the game. Both of y'all were so nice in our brief interaction. Definitely need to get by one of the to one of the meetups. Love the show, Ray and Austin. Hey, thank you, man. It was good seeing you. We saw a few people in the parking lot. Ray, it's always fun. It's this is what we do, man. This is fun. We like talking about the games. We like hearing what the people say. We value y'all's opinions more than any other media type. I'm dead serious about it. So we appreciate you, Ray, and it was good meeting you out there. By the way, I think I got was the sun blaring? Because for some reason my face was like
it was pretty sunny.
I should have worn some sunscreen, man.
Yeah, it was pretty sunny. Ray, we certainly appreciate that. And
you're the man.
Ray's in Austin.
Yeah,
we talked to a couple other people, who'd been in and around the Austin area, and we know there's Texans fans out there. I wouldn't put it out of the question that there's a road show in Austin at some point.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that out of the question either. Would not do that.
So for folks in the Hill Country, you might be seeing SNL live and in living color soon.
SSG says, wow, guys, you gave Wallace the evil eye, SMH.
See, They really turned the mojo of the SNL exclusive with the Trent Brown adjustment. Jawar Jordan wasn't as good as he was the first game after we talked to him. Kevon Wallace now is out of a job. Like, they really turned the mojo on this. Trent got hurt.
Yep, they did that. There's no doubt about it. It
Yep.
did happen. So there was another thing that I wanted to look at from D'Amico Ryans, and I thought this one was interesting because we talk about the defense, we talk about the superpower, and by the way, playoff coverage presented by the greatness that is TDECU. Cody, show them that debit card.
It's great to have the folks at TDECU with us because you can get this beautiful Texans debit card right there. It's fantastic. You can get it
TDECU.org/Texans.
in and out in less than 20 minutes. Get signed up. You can start the process right there online as well. You can start the process right there online. You just have to be in the state of Texas, resident in the state of Texas. You can get signed up with our friends at TDECU. TDECU.org/Texans. Okay, so you can find out all the great benefits and perks that TDECU offers you. They're a credit union. It's different than other places you put your money. They can do more for you. Our friends at TDECU want to hear from you, and they want you to get this beautiful Texans debit card.
Show the back.
As well. That's what the back looks like.
Move your finger.
No, I'm not moving my finger. People don't need to be taking any of my money.
Membership required, insured by NCUA. So the defense, we talk about the defense a lot, and D'Amico Ryans does not seem pleased with how the defense finished. Here is D'Amico Ryans talking about the defense, the superpower needing to be more super.
Our defense, they did a really nice job throughout the entire year of limiting points. Specifically, that's what makes you a good defense. Also, playing well in the passing game, but we didn't end the year well defensively. When it comes to giving up explosive plays, is really not good enough defensively. So we got to do a much better job if we want to advance and play longer in the playoffs. Got to play much better defense. So it didn't end how it should have.
He holds them to a higher standard than he has all year long.
Yes.
But he's right about how they finished. They did not finish as clean against some inferior competition as they should have.
Correct. I just don't. I'm not overly concerned about the defense, though. I do think that the bar is a lot higher. It's a lot different with the defense than the offense when it comes to the way D'Amico speaks, but I'm not overly worried about it. I do wonder, though, like, what does Jalen Reed look like when and if he's out there? And I think he's close to being out there. I think you and I can read between the lines. I think he's close to being out there. But what does he look like when he's out there is a legitimate question.
That's if you're trying to circle a spot on this defense that feels like it's a crack in the armor, then it might be more than a crack if you're putting Miles Bryant out there on a consistent basis. Obviously, we both feel pretty strongly that Jalen Reed's going to be back at some point. It's less of a worry, but that spot and what that spot is in charge of and how they use it and how important it is to making sure that Stingley's right and Kamari's right when it's in coverage and helping out, and Petrie's right and some of the things where the opposing teams do to challenge that spot. Like that spot next to Bullock is the spot that you look at. And if you don't have Reed, it's like, okay, can the master schemer that D'Amico Ryans is on defense, can he hide that enough without taking away from something that they do really well?
I don't even know if it's necessarily a schematic thing. I mean, you still have the edge in the corner duo. So I think it can be a natural thing. I don't know that you have to bend over backwards to hide it as much as maybe other situations would require. Like if Kalen Bullock misses any amount of time, then yeah, I think you probably have to figure something out. But in this situation, I think the stuff on the outsides, in the trenches and on the sidelines, I think it does a good job of naturally masking it.
Well, and the opponent has to be able to access it as a weakness, and Pittsburgh doesn't strike me as that type of team. Now, obviously, whoever you may play in the next round and that type of opponent may be a little bit different, but Pittsburgh doesn't seem like the type of team that can really drill down a little bit of weakness at safety. Not with the way that they throw. I mean, they throw everything. It feels like 4 or 5 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. With an occasional deep shot, and they try to get lucky. But your next opponents after Pittsburgh, should you win, are definitely going to be teams that can try to exploit that. So that just okay. As Will Anderson or Daniil Hunter and Stingley and Lassiter, they're going to have their level all the way up to where they are to cover for whatever weakness you may have at that safety spot.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also do wonder how they guard DK Metcalf. Like, what kind of respect does he warrant? Now, I will say this.
I know what I would do.
You would shadow him with Stingley?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I will say, though, that it's a little bit different than the last time that we were having this discussion heading into the playoffs, because you had Steven Nelson, who was banged up. And I'm not saying, first of all, Steven Nelson's not as good as Kamari Lassiter, whether he's healthy or not, despite his contributions in 2023. They don't get to the playoffs without him, but he was beat to shit that year. And there was a big drop off from Stingley to Steven Nelson and whoever else was going to be there. But in this instance, if Kamari Lassiter's playing and you have him and Stingley, it's not as crucial, and I don't think the consequences are as heavy as they were the last time we were having this discussion, the first time that DeMeco went to the playoffs.
Agreed. Yeah.
But I'm with you, because I think it's someone that Derek Stingley can easily shut down. I think Derek Stingley is going to want to do that. I also think that one of the bigger mistakes of the year by DeMeco Ryans, he got real testy about it, and he was weird answering the question about what did or didn't happen. I know DK Metcalf's not Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I'm not even saying that Derek Stingley could have followed around Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I do think that not shadowing him is probably something that they at least had a second thought about. I don't know that he regrets it, but they at least had a second thought about it.
I would have been interested in seeing how the game would have played out. I don't know if it drastically changes anything or it changes the outcome of the game, but I would have been interested in seeing how the defense could have played without the threat of Jackson Smith and Jigba being as present as it was when they were moving him around and got a bunch of different matchups that they liked in that game.
All right, back to the chat. And we did see right here on the chat, Mark Cruz asks,
Swarm.
What's y'all's reaction to John Harbaugh being fired? We'll talk about that at the end. We'll localize that as we always do. But yeah, there's shelf lives for everything. Part of me wonders if this is Mike Tomlin's last game. And there's sometimes divorce can be a good thing. I know Lovie Smith said it a lot of times when it's kind of a weird thing, but it is true. Like in sports, sometimes it just runs its course, and that's probably the case with John Harbaugh.
I have some big thoughts, and I have one including I don't know if it's a nightmare, but it's a scary dream, certainly.
Okay. Scary dream. That's a hell of a tease. So we'll localize the Harbaugh news. Good thinking there, Mark. Waylon asks, what are your thoughts on Kingsbury being available?
Well, I would say ultimately my thoughts are I don't see a scenario where Nick Caley's getting fired. So I don't know that Kingsbury being available matters to a lot of people. And then this happens anytime an OC is shown the door. But there was a lot of, hey, Kingsbury didn't do this well and didn't do that well. And there's a lot of criticism of how he handled the passing game in Washington since his departure earlier today. And so it's like, okay, I don't know if you want that issue. Is there maybe somebody else that you would be interested in if you moved on from Caley? But again, I don't think Caley's getting fired.
Man, what is it with OCs? There's a streak right now of OCs guiding rookies to rookie of the year and postseason appearances and then getting their ass fired the next year. There's like the streak is alive. So I don't think that I don't think a QB will be rookie of the year this year. So you don't have to worry about it. But this is Bobby Slowick 2.0 with Kingsbury, except he had Daniels banged up this year. But yeah, that's the second straight time if you want to localize that.
Yep. And it was yet another offensive line coach fired after coaching Laramie Tunsil.
Well, that happens. Common sense, he says the New Orleans-Atlanta game is cruel and unusual punishment.
The New Orleans Atlanta game is cruel and unusual punishment.
Because it decided playoff.
Oh, that's what I assume he's talking about, is because that's how the Panthers made the playoffs.
Crazy Texan 6372. Shout out to you, mi amigo. He says, great to see you guys at Spanky's last week. How do you think the O-line will hold up with Hayward, Watt, and Highsmith? Let's hear D'Amico Ryans talk about those guys. That's a hell of an assist from Crazy. Here is D'Amico Ryans talking about TJ Watt and Highsmith.
Great pass rush. Both guys, TJ Watt's one of the all-time, sack leaders in the NFL for a reason. Great bloodline. He had a guy who can teach him how to do it, and his brother JJ. So he's a really good player, good pass rush. Also Highsmith, Highsmith doesn't get enough credit, I think, for the production and how disruptive he is as a pass rusher as well. So, you want to play good defense, you have to have two good pass rushers, and they have that.
Yeah, they do. And you got to wonder how the tackles are going to hold up. I will say this, and Crazy Texan, good to meet you at Spanky's. Hopefully you're there again. If you're not, all good. Either way, might be a long hike, but we appreciate you regardless. And we look forward to seeing whoever comes out at Spanky's, and we'll see you again, I'm sure, my friend.
I am intrigued to see what Trent Brown can do against whatever version of TJ Watt is out there when those two match up. Because when I think about a couple of times where TJ Watt has not looked great, it's primarily been against large tackles. Like Titus had a really good day one day against Watt a few years ago when Titus was much heavier. And, I just wonder if large tackles is maybe something that Watt, especially in this condition, might struggle against. I feel like Ursree's really settled in. Playing last week, it didn't look like there was any big issue with the hand. So I think that's a solid spot. And the O-line's had some good success. They're going to get the ball out fast, so that's going to help a little bit. But they're going to have to run the ball at some point at those guys and make them pay like teams try to do against the Texans sometimes.
It kind of feels like Pittsburgh's very vulnerable to the extended play. Maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment. I just watched the Baltimore game and I'm making like some sort of blanket statement, but it does kind of feel, when you have busts like that, like even the touchdown the Steelers scored, the guy just slipped. It just slipped. That happens on that grass. But like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, they're just flat out busts. It feels like there's been a few busts. So I do wonder when you talk about extending plays and stuff, if maybe we could see some CJ to Nico type of stuff like we saw in the first half against Kansas City. And if that's a possibility. The other thing about it, I think that needs to be mentioned is TJ Watt's not 100% healthy. Yeah. I don't know if he's as unhealthy as he's probably trying to sell it. So I think there is kind of a balance because he is a Watt and they're used to being a little bit extra. No offense, JJ, I love you. But yeah, they're a little bit extra. This is the guy that sang Fort Minor and flipped tires and acted like it was 3 a.m. And I appreciate it. JJ sent me that when he left town. Very nice from JJ. But let's be honest, there's a little bit of extra that comes with being a Watt.
And who could forget Derek? Yeah. Okay. I was going to think about one of the extra moments for him, but he was a fullback, so it wasn't a lot of extra.
He was an extra in those commercials, those Dick's Sporting Goods commercials.
Yeah, no, I bet that check cashed just like JJ's and TJ's.
Did.
The made for TV Fort Minor montage was.
He knows that was rough.
Was a lot.
That was rough.
Swarm.
Random Looker 6792 says Marks is Duke Johnson. I would disagree with that wholeheartedly.
I would very much disagree with this.
Yeah, I would disagree with that. He runs between the tackles much better than Duke Johnson. Duke actually had a really good receiving year in Cleveland. There was one good year. But I think Woody Marks possesses elite skills. I would say no.
I don't know. I don't know that you don't care, but my favorite Duke Johnson random piece of trivia is?
He was Miami's all-time leading rusher or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the great running backs that came through Miami, and Duke Johnson's the all-time leading rusher.
Did he stay 4 years? Because they all left. They all left pretty early. I know Willis McGahee, he left early. Clinton, like most of them, left early.
I gotta imagine he did not. He was not a 2-and-go guy like some of those guys.
Biased H-Town says Roadshow at Bolden Acres and ATX, Texans fans. We're gonna do. I mean, trust me. We have people who 100% like are in Austin, and there are watch parties. So don't sleep on a SNO in Austin. Seriously, don't sleep on it. Malik says, how good did Reed look compared to CJ Gardner-Johnson in training camp? I'm not going to revise history and say CJ Gardner-Johnson had a bad training camp. I didn't think he did. Even before he got hurt, I thought he was fine. I mean, the offense wasn't doing much. So I would say Reed had a good camp, though. I would say Reed had a good camp. But I'm not going to revise history. CJ Gardner-Johnson looked bad in games in the system. He did not look bad in camp.
I was pretty excited to see Reed, and he only had practiced a handful of times before he got hurt, and then he was out for most of camp. It's like that's my concern with if Reed is the option that they go with at safety is he hasn't played a lot of football, like even from a practice standpoint. Like it's not like he's like had like a whole year of practice. He's just been relegated to special teams duty and the bench. Like he wasn't there for a lot of training camp. He wasn't there for a lot of the season as an IR guy, and now back on IR. So
he's looked good, but he has looked good. Every on-field opportunity he's gotten, he's looked good.
Yeah. I mean, I'd certainly rather have him out there than Miles Bryant.
Yeah, it's not. And you look at the opponents that they're facing. It's not like there's. I mean, Pittsburgh can get guys in the open field that you're going to have to make plays on, and I mean they have decent options, and this is you could come back in worse situations. And oh, by the way, it's in Pennsylvania. It's in Pennsylvania. How about that?
Okay. Is Aaron going to ask him when he gets activated?
Hey, bro. Alpha Aaron here.
What's he going to ask him?
You got a lot of friends coming to watch you play?
Dude.
What?
That's his favorite. That's his favorite thing to ask.
That when he asked Woody Marks, who's from Atlanta and played most of his college career at Mississippi State, if there were friends that were going to watch him in LA, I was just like, dude. And then Woody saved him, was like, yeah, some of my USC teammates.
By the way, you know where Jalen Reed is actually from, though?
Detroit, Michigan.
You know who his high school teammate was, though?
Oh, Tyler Warren. I remember this.
No, wrong.
No.
Who
was his high school teammate?
Sauce Gardner.
Oh, he was teammates Tyler Warren at Penn State, obviously. My bad.
AppJax, who's the goofball now? All that trash talk.
Hey, bro.
Alpha Cody
Alpha
here.
Aaron here.
AppJax says watching that. Go ahead.
No, I don't think that's the same at all.
AppJax says watching this while doing the 24-hour punishment at IHOP. I'm in more hell than Aaron Rodgers will be on Monday. Let's go Texans. What's the 24-hour punishment at IHOP?
It's you got to sit there 24 hours. Every pancake you eat takes an hour off of your total.
Oh, so you have to eat 24 pancakes to get out?
Well, no. Like if I'm there for 12 hours and I eat 12 pancakes, I get to go. And they're doing IHOP was
you eating light or something?
IHOP was, I'm just going to ignore that. IHOP did a very funny commercial where they had Malik Neighbors promote that Never Ending Pancakes were back. And he's like, yeah, we know that a lot of people do their fantasy punishment with pancakes. And then he had like little kids coming up to him and be like, you're the reason I'm here. Because you got hurt. And he's like, pancakes are back at IHOP.
Mm-hmm.
What, do you got something to say? You be a smart ass about something?
Biased H-Town says, how far do we need to go for y'all to bring Kaylee back? He's back, man. He's back.
I mean, if I was, I'd try
championship game. We'll see what happens. But yeah, he's back.
I would try something else. But it's not my decision. I believe he's going to come back.
Yeah, I think he's back. The only way that I could see him gone is if they're one and done.
If they are one and done, the offense looks like crap, then yes, I could see him being gone.
Yes. I could see that for sure. How long do you think it would take you to do the IHOP challenge?
Not long. Their pancakes are not big.
So like 30 minutes?
30 minutes. Come on. I'm not a fucking pancake eating machine.
45?
You're being a dick now. You think I'm going to eat 23 pancakes in 45 minutes?
No, I don't think so.
I bet I could eat 18 pancakes.
Yeah, I would not take that bet. I would think so too. Yeah, I think you could eat 18 pancakes for sure.
Shut up.
But you can't afford small mistakes, at least not in the playoffs. Here's D'Amico Ryans talking about the magnification of mistakes in the playoffs. What? I just asked a question, Cody.
Those details and those fine, techniques that we talk about all the time. If you're not on it, you get exposed. You can end up in a pretty tough situation that's harder to climb out of. So we know these games they're going to be tight. They're going to be tough. Everybody's in the playoffs for a reason. Everybody's earned that opportunity to get into the playoffs. So for me, it's everybody just has to tighten up on what we're doing. Right? Offensively, defensively, special teams wise, we all have to tighten up. Starting with us as coaches, we got to tighten up to make sure we're all on the same page and make sure that our players, everybody knows exactly what they should be doing and how to get it done.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying. What's the food that you could eat the most of if you were put in a situation where you had to eat to survive?
Mine
would be sushi.
Oh, yeah, I can eat a lot of sushi.
Yeah, sushi, big time, for sure. Sushi, I could probably down 10 rolls in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily. Just eat them like chicken nuggets. I got that party tray from Papa U. That sushi party tray.
Mm-hmm.
Dominance.
You live pretty close to some really nice sushi spots out there, don't you?
Yeah, but Papa U. So I almost died though, with the Papa U, but it was
choke on the roll.
No, I got some pokey before practice, and I wanted to eat the pokey before practice when the Texans practiced at noon. So I got to the parking lot a little bit early, dropped the daughter off at daycare, and I got extra wasabi, and I just mixed it in. I just shook it, mixed it, and it all went to one corner. So I had 2 full things of wasabi in my dude. It's like I kept it in, but it was like the nose, and I can handle the wasabi. You just got to spread it out. But the 2 clumps, especially when you're not expecting it, not ideal.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Wasn't great. Green Bean Preteen. My goodness, that is a crazy name. They say this has to be the healthiest Texans team ever going into the playoffs, right? Big fan of the show. By the way, also, I think there should be some Landry punishment, perhaps olive related, if we make the bowl. Makes me sick just thinking about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I'll do an olive punishment if they make the bowl. I'll drink a whole can of olive juice on one chug. Ew, man. I'm gonna puke though. I will throw up. I will.
We're not going to do that on the show. We'll just video you doing that, and then
I will puke
because the video.
I actually when I get jalapenos, I drink the whole. I chug the whole jalapeno juice, or I'll chug the pickle juice. It's kind of like a cleanse. It'll cleanse your body, but I'll drink it. I'll do it with the olive juice if they make the bowl, and I will puke. There's no doubt about it. Can't handle it.
You're filthy. I was going to say eat some olives, but you're over here chugging the juice.
I'm a man of my word.
Duh.
Doyle says Landry needs a Rocky Mountain oyster challenge. If he can eat 20, I'll give him $100. What's a Rocky Mountain oyster challenge?
Bull balls.
What?
They're bull testicles.
What's the point? Why would anyone eat that?
Some people find them to be a delicacy. I do not.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, I'm not eating any balls, dude. That's not.
They fry them.
Yeah, I'm not eating any balls, dude. That's not no thank you at all. That's a no for me, dog.
Yeah,
Not happening.
that's on that.
Yeah, that's a no-go. The Texans have found ways to win games. They've been some close ones. D'Amico Ryans was asked about that. Does that carry over, and does experience in the playoffs as well carry over? Here's what he had to say.
Our guys know how to win football games, and that's so weird. That doesn't change, right? Because we're in the playoffs. We've been in that mode for a while now. Every game has been important for us. Everything has been about, all the marble. That's what it's been. That's our season. That's what it's been for us to fight back, to get into a spot, to even have this opportunity, right, to play in the playoffs. So our mindset is not changing now that we're in.
All right, there we go.
It would just be nice to just dominate a team, start to finish, kind of like they did the Cardinals. They really haven't done it against a worthwhile opponent. And maybe that's just the level of talent that they are, that they're not a dominate a good team opponent, or good team. Or not, they're not a dominate a good team type of team, but they sure play some nail biters, and the cardiac Texans are still very much alive and well, even against some lesser teams here down the stretch.
Yeah, Doyle says everyone's a hardo till they have to eat a bull testicle.
I'm not eating any bull testicles. I'm good.
Yeah, that's a no-go for me.
Landry, Rocky Mountain High, yes. Rocky Mountain Oyster, no.
No, not into that at all. But D'Amico, what'd you make of D'Amico yesterday? He seemed a little bit edgy. He was kind of focused. He did this Steeler thing was funny.
Yeah, you guys are fired up by the Steelers, huh? Man, can't wait.
That's funny. I think it had a lot to do. I think there was one of two things. First of all, they weren't as up on the Steelers as they normally would have been because they didn't know they played them till 11. Also, I think he's just kind of hardo. And maybe there was kind of like a sad effort to perhaps act like it's us against them and everybody's talking about Pittsburgh, which I bet it's hard for a coach to let go of the us against them and everybody counted us out thing. D'Amico's been able to kind of still use that, even though we expected him to be here. He's been able to use that because they started out 0-3, although it's kind of an eye roll for me. But we've even seen like Kirby Smart, the New England Patriots, when they're winning their 10th Super Bowl or whatever the F it is, try to play the nobody gave us a chance. So maybe that was just a sad final attempt of D'Amico just grasping for the nobody's talking about us heading into this one.
Well, I feel like the intricacies of the Steelers, he's going to be more prepared for later in the week because he has a chance to look at them, like you said. I mean, it's not like they could even really do advanced scouting. They had 5 or 6 different potential opponents. So it's like, yeah, some of them are familiar. You can look back to them. But, you asked the Arthur Smith question. He shot that down as it's not Arthur Smith in Atlanta, even though Arthur Smith in Atlanta gave him all he wanted that day. So I think he just hadn't looked at him, so he didn't have specifics, so he didn't want to talk about him.
JBD Annihilator asked this question: how many points to win the game? I think 20 points because the Steelers aren't scoring more than 16.
I think 18 wins the game because I don't see how Pittsburgh scoring more than 17. So I'd say 18 wins the game.
The over-under is what, 21 for the Texans?
I have not looked at that. I'll take your word for it. That sounds about right. What's the over-under for the game?
40? Is it 39 or 40?
39 and a half. Yeah, so 21 and about 19 or so. So, yeah, I just don't see how the Steelers are putting up a whole bunch of points. Which goes back to kind of how we started. If you're putting up points, it makes it very tough for the Steelers to keep up with you. So if Nick Haley, CJ Stroud, and the offense do a good job early, Pittsburgh's going to have to work very hard to climb out of a deficit and climb out of a hole if you can get a big lead.
Tazewell says 39 and a half. I'll just pull it up here. I know the line's up to 3.5.
It's 39 and a half. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, so 39.5 is the over-under. The Texans point total Yeah, so it's 20 is been the magic number. Hadn't 24 been the magic number right now lately?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So that's kind of where they're at with the number. But I also think, you're coming off the Indianapolis game. Yeah, Texans is 20.5 and Steelers is 17.5. It never 100% aligned. So 20.5 is what they have. If you don't think the Steelers are going to score, then take the under on the 17.5.
Oh yeah, definitely the under on this game for me.
Yeah, that would be the approach to that. I also think that if the Texans are going to give up points, I think the quarterback needs to be a little bit more mobile than Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, you'd hope so.
Perhaps a little bit mobile. To say the very least. The other thing is, and someone brought this up, the Texans are really healthy. I know there's you're not going to feel 100% good about your football team at this point, 17 games into a season in a training camp and all that. But this is if you combine the path that they're going to have to take with the state of the roster and the health of the roster, this is a extremely healthy Texans football team.
Obviously missing Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs last year. 2 years ago, Will Anderson went into the playoffs banged up, had the ankle. So he was banged up heading into the playoffs 2 years ago. Obviously, probably the best chance in franchise history prior to this when Matt Schaub's leg exploded before the season was over and TJ Yates was your quarterback.
Yeah, there's never been a real, even last year, you mentioned the receivers being depleted. Yeah. You were depleted on the offense, not depleted, but you were banged up on the offensive line. This is and you had no nickel. I mean, and I think that was kind of
no Petrie too.
No Petrie or Ward. So you literally had no nickel. And that kind of magnified against you. And you also if this season ends, let's just pretend this season ends before they reach the Super Bowl. That's a big if. But how does it end? Because the first two D'Amico eras are playoff runs. First one ended in Baltimore. And we'll localize the John Harbaugh news. Cody has a big take on that as we get out of here. We like to localize everything here on SNL. Playoff coverage, by the way, presented by the greatness that is TDECU. TDECU.org/Texans. Get that Texans debit card like Cody did. Membership required, insured by NCUA. If you don't want the Texans debit, they got the Buckies. They got everything. TDECU is the absolute best. So go to TDECU.org/Texans. Get that going. But look at how it ends. It would be in Pittsburgh against the ghost of Aaron Rodgers and perhaps Mike Tomlin's last stand. It could be in Jacksonville. It could be in Denver. It could be in
New England
against two inexperienced quarterbacks and a quarterback that you've kind of scoffed at. You've scoffed at Trevor Lawrence when it comes to the CJ thing. And then, or it could end at home against Buffalo. It's not the same uphill task that you're typically used to when you have to get over a hump like this. The teams that you thought you had to get over the hump against, you beat one in the regular season and basically put them in the casket. And the other one just kind of depleted and they just fired their coach today. So the other one is below you and you've kicked their ass twice now in a row at home. So it's laid out nicely in almost every way possible, which makes a lot of people nervous. Some people prefer the vibes of us against them, but let's just be honest. When it comes to the Texans, new is good. New is good for the Texans because they've never won a road playoff game and they've never won two playoff games in the playoffs. So the same year. So new is good.
Absolutely. I like the new vibe. I like the different vibe. I like not having you're playing the Browns. They whooped up on you. Oh, the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh. Herbert doesn't turn the ball over. It's Texas is supposed to go whip the Steelers' ass.
Sir Wag says, afternoon to the number one Texans content team. Good afternoon to you, my friend. By the way, Texans off tomorrow. Today's basically their Monday, Tuesday. Typically they're off. It'll be Wednesday this week, and we will be covering a practice on Saturday. So we got you covered on that. So just I know that the clocks are a lot of our audience is kind of adjusted to it. Just remember today is basically a Monday for the Texans when it comes to game week. So you got to wait a little bit. Some people don't like this wait. Some people just are not big on this wait.
Yeah, what was the discussion last night on Texas Collective? Henry Toto didn't want to play Monday, wanted to play Sunday.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay. Well, you haven't been on the injury report all year, bud.
Yeah, and you're a little younger. Like, you're not Trent Brown. You're not Nico Collins.
Hell, you're not even Aziz.
Yeah, you're not that. So, yeah, I bet Henry Toto could play, but that's not his mindset. I wonder this. I asked this question yesterday. Is D'Amico Ryans a UPS guy? I asked him about Arthur Smith. He didn't really want to talk about it. It makes me wonder, D'Amico might not mess with FedEx.
Your thoughts on Arthur Smith and the way he operates an offense and attacks the defense?
I haven't dived into their offense that much, to be honest with you, so we'll see how that goes throughout the week.
Different team, different Arthur, but he has always had some good things to say about Arthur Smith. Actually, I think some really insightful stuff about Arthur Smith. I do wonder, though, and I think I'll ask the Arthur question tomorrow. I think he'll have a better answer. But I do wonder if there's like an interesting mix of Arthur Smith and Aaron Rodgers and what they bring to an offense and just what that collaboration is like when you watch it from the POV that a head coach watches it from.
Yeah, it would be intriguing to know if there's stuff that Arthur can do with, say, Aaron Rodgers that he couldn't do with some of the guys he had in Atlanta. And then if there's stuff that Aaron does that works within the flow of what Arthur likes to do and he's been able to. Because, Rodgers was pretty prickly when he didn't like the offenses in the past. Like he was pretty annoyed by some of those offenses and not doing some of the things he liked and this and that. But he got annoyed the other night when Arthur couldn't hit the button. Hit the button.
It's crazy because at FedEx, like when you work at FedEx, I think some people might know you have like an armband with like a scanner to where you scan each box. Like if you're assigned a truck, you have like an armband and you scan each box. You would think Arthur, he'd probably never worked on a truck, but
yeah, Daddy owned the company and they were super successful by the time Arthur came around. So
maybe Arthur had a summer job at FedEx. Maybe his dad tried to teach him a lesson.
Well, if he did, they probably didn't have the scanner technology then.
But you think he ever had to load a truck?
Sure.
That's he did.
The guy that runs FedEx struck me as the type of guy that would have made everybody learn the family business at some point.
Yes. Join us at Spanky's this Friday. We look forward to seeing you there. You know what I look forward to? I look forward to going in the backyard. Because I got Texans turf. I love my Texans turf. Dan is the man. He does his thing. Always green, always clean, always awesome. My daughter was back there. She was blowing bubbles. She's just blowing bubbles, running around in the turf, falling down, acting a fool, but it's all good because it's always green. It's always clean. I clean it myself, just like the grass. It cleans easier. It has the drainage. They got you covered. Whether you want the putting green, the playing surface, do what a lot of viewers have done, do what a lot of people around town have done, and go to Texans Turf, texansturf.com.
You can see the great work that they've done. Put in a putting green or a play area. You can schedule that free estimate right there on texansturf.com. And the biggest thing was when one of our listeners walked up and showed us, I didn't go in my backyard very often before I had my Texans turf, and now I'm back there all the time.
Yep, there it is. That's excellent. Brandon asks, when's the Steelers breakdown episode? Probably tomorrow, Thursday, something like that. It's going to happen. We'll get the breakdown of what they got going. It's pretty cut and dry. It's very obvious what you have to worry about and what you don't have to worry about.
Yeah. They're a pretty boring opponent from that standpoint.
Yeah, they are boring, but it's going to be an exciting game. Looking forward to it.
But hey, if you can do boring over and over and over and over again, like they have throughout most of this year, then makes you a tougher out.
All right, so we got the breaking news. Let's localize it. The Ravens have fired. I said hired on the go there. Fired John Harbaugh. Localize it, Cody. Give me your POV of the man that was kind of a thorn in the side of the Texans for a long time and a thorn in the side of many, John Harbaugh.
So there's two things. There's the direct impact and the indirect impact. The indirect one is the Baltimore Ravens still have a lot of very good football players. And I don't know that there is a no-brainer for Lamar Jackson from go and get him a new head coach and a new style and system and all that kind of stuff. I don't know that there's a no-brainer from that standpoint for him, but there's a chance that the Baltimore Ravens had this lull this year and they're right back in it next year. So I don't see there being a head coach hire that keeps the Ravens kind of toiling. Whoever gets that job, usually we're probably going to think pretty highly of them, and they're going to be ready to take off and go again next year. So that's the smaller one. The bigger one that I think about is if you're looking for a coach that has been successful, is well-respected, runs a tight ship, can give you input in a variety of different pieces of the organization, and you're a rudderless ship, I don't know how the Tennessee Titans don't open the checkbook for John Harbaugh.
I mean, does he want to go to Tennessee? Does he want to go to Baltimore from Tennessee? How bad do you want to coach, man?
Well, again, Harbaugh has to say yes, obviously, but I don't know how he wouldn't be an immediate interview for the Tennessee Titans. I'm sure they are tired of hearing about, hey, as soon as you get rid of this guy, he's going to be one of the top candidates. And that's exactly what happened with Mike Vrabel. They could remedy that by going and getting the guy that got fired and is immediately one of the top candidates.
Yeah, I could see that. I think it just kind of marks for my POV. I get what you're saying with the possibility. Yeah, the Titans, obviously. I don't know how many people want to coach there. And I mean, do you want to tie yourself to Cam Ward? Do you want to take a job and then say your job is to get the most out of Cam Ward? I think he's been on the Lamar coaster for a while. It's fun ride. I'm not saying anything bad about it, but I don't think you want to go to Cam Ward after that. That would just be me, especially given the fact that he's rich and could perhaps be selective. My thought is that I think this is kind of the beginning of the end for the Ravens. And I think I love Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson's great, but that report that came out wasn't an accident. That guy's been around for a long time. And maybe they bring in a different coach. Maybe there's a different philosophy. I still think Lamar Jackson can still ball, but I think this is the beginning of the end for the Ravens as a perennial powerhouse in the AFC. So I think that's good news for the Texans. Now, how do the Texans handle the next step will be something that we'll obviously keep an eye on. They obviously got big things ahead of them in the momentary, but I think this is kind of the end of the Baltimore Ravens as we know them. So that's my thought on it. I think he did a lot of good things that probably doesn't get enough credit for.
I wonder if a modernized approach will just have them right back where they were. Now, obviously, if Lamar's body is starting to break down to a large degree, then and that becomes a big issue for them in the next few years, then I don't care who the coach is, it's going to be tough to be successful there. But I just wonder if somebody with a little bit more 21st century approach to things, not to say Harbaugh, had too much of an old school approach, but there's a different outlook, a different breath of fresh air for Lamar and the Ravens might keep them right there. That's what I'm more worried about.
That Fort Worth guy says nobody wants a stanky boss. That's the problem. Where's she been, by the way?
Well, it's not like Irsay's daughter went and crushed that press conference.
She said some good things. She just didn't really deliver it as well. It was like reading.
She's fumbling over getting the pin out of her ear to start the whole presser. It was not impressive.
She dropped it. It definitely wrote better than it sounded.
Correct.
The quote was fire. But yeah, the delivery was not great, which I can relate to. Appreciate everyone for rolling through. It is playoff time. We will see what happens with the Texans. It's different, but it's fun. Shout out to TDECU and all of you people. I do mean you people for riding along. TDECU.org/Texans to get that Texans debit card and that 15% off in the team shop. Tomorrow we'll be back at it. I'll be on the locker room 10:30 tonight. And always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.
No, really. How much time at IHOP?
Less than 10 hours. Easy.